Hello, my dear lovelies. It's Drina from Drina's Haven 916. I want to make a disclaimer. I think you all already know that I am not one to judge. I do not like to judge people, and I don't like being judged. I'm nobody's judge, jury, or executioner. These videos titled Criminal Justice and these parole board hearings are for educational purposes. There's some things that I want to point out, and that is if you are up for parole, there are some things that the parole board are looking for. Number one, they're looking for you to admit what you did or what you were charged with or convicted with. You have to admit that. You have to show remorse. You have to show that you don't have write-ups within like 1 or 2 years from the time that you were granted to be up for parole. They want to know what classes and programs have you taken, such as victims impact. If you were on drugs or alcohol, that you have attended NA and AA. And there's some other programs that they want to see that you have attended and completed successfully. So let's watch this next case. And this next case is a man that I do believe he received a 50-year sentence, and he literally tore this woman's insides out. Let's watch and see if they grant his parole.
A 50-year, 3-month, 13-day sentence on the charges of forcible rape, aggravated burglary, attempted second-degree murder, and aggravated sexual battery, which he was revoked. Is that basically all accurate, Mr. Alexander?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. Mr. Alexander, your case has been assigned to Mr. Pete Freeman. Mr. Freeman will begin our interview process. Would you please answer any questions he may have?
How old are you, Mr. Alexander?
50.
Okay, how long have you been in jail on this charge?
19 years and 10 months.
Okay, what's your education level?
12th grade.
Okay. So you completed high school?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Alexander, tell us a little bit about what happened. I mean, it looks like both of your offenses are against ex-girlfriends. Both of them are very serious and heinous crimes. I mean, what's the problem? What led to you doing these two things?
The first crime is with my girlfriend at the age of 19, 20 years old. Accidentally, I call it accidentally. I admit to that crime. And the reason why that happened, because I did something I shouldn't have done. What I did was went into her underwear to grab the second one, 19 years ago, is with my ex-girlfriend, one I was living with, which I'm deeply sorry for that. That shouldn't have happened. I had no intention to hurt her or any form, fashion. And really what happened with that was when I admit I broke into the home to look for something very stupid, a pair of shoes, and something else that I think she might have had in the file cabinet. That's why I had the knife first and foremost. Not realizing when she came back into the home, and when I heard her, it was like, okay, I'm gonna make myself present. By that point, she asked me, why am I in her home? I got scared. I panicked. I told her. By me panicking the way I panicked, I just kind of like, now I ain't gonna say lose control. I just didn't know what to do. I didn't mean to stab the way I stabbed her in her shoulder, but after that, she seen how scared I was, gave me sort of a hug, a kiss, and I said, well, look, I'm gonna call the police. When I did call the police, man, I'm not lying. That was the worst moment I ever experienced in my life, by seeing her going in that ambulance. I didn't mean nothing for none of that to happen.
Yeah,
I'm actually,
okay. Yeah.
sir.
After she hugged you and kissed you, you raped her.
Well, that was the kind of like the wishy-washy. That's something I didn't plan on doing, but I confessed to it, sir, and I didn't know what to do. But
I mean,
I can tell you this much. Back then, I was selfish, very selfish. I wasn't gonna say I was out of control. I mean, that was a person that really was my best friend, a person I used to date, person I used to live with. And to be honest with you, she did not deserve what I did. Till the day, it burns me. It burns me in my soul. It really does. Because from that day on, I don't think I can ever forget about that. And I can't think about that feeling that I'm gonna have, not alone her and her family, my family, for the pain I caused. It's just
okay.
something I'm gonna have to fight with for the rest of my life, hoping for forgiveness. But that pain I have that I caused that lady, Miss
Hey, all
Mason,
right, I got that. I got that. Let's move on a little bit. So you stayed in her house for 3 hours with her bleeding from where you stabbed, and you saying that this the woman was your best friend and you loved her?
yes, sir. I like I said, I was drunk. I wasn't drunk, like drunk, but I don't know. I can't explain, but I know my action towards her was very, very wrong.
Let's go back to the first case. I mean, you say you was trying to get a ring out of underwear, but I mean, according to the medical examination, I mean, you hurt this woman bad. You tore half her insides out. But you
From what I
put it in her stomach.
sir,
I mean, you just didn't grab a ring. I mean, you pulled out a
it was
lot of.
from what I understand, it was the stone of the ring. From what I understand, when I spoke with, I think her name was Detective Paula at that time.
Okay. All right.
Which,
You said you
which
were drunk. Were you drunk on both occasions or just one?
that first one. After that, I never got in trouble behind drugs or alcohol ever since.
Okay. How much you used to drink?
Mainly on weekends, 12 pack or less.
What kind of drugs you used?
I only used cocaine one time.
Okay. Uh, have you ever had any treatment? Taken AA meetings, anything like that since you've been in prison?
Yes, sir.
Um, I think it shows you have a medical condition. What is your medical condition?
My medical condition, that's when I was falling ill. The time I got with Miss Mason. And doctors could never find out what was wrong.
Yeah, you have a pretty extensive criminal history. Um, you had a simple battery. You were put on probation, you failed to report as directed, pay your money allegations. Of course, you had the sexual battery in which you got revoked because you failed to report, tested positive for cocaine, failed to pay supervision fees, failed to attend sex offender treatment, and engage in criminal conduct by committing this offense. So you told me you only used cocaine one time. Was that the one time you tested positive?
That's the one time, sir. On that first offense,
Okay. Law enforcement opposition, they're strongly opposed. The DA, the sheriff, both chief of police. Your mother is unopposed. The victim, Ms. Mason, is strongly opposed. The other victim had no comment. Your criminal record goes all the way back to 1999. All of them are violent offenses. What is going to be your transition plan? Where are you going to live? Where are you going to work?
Sir, plan on hopefully living with my mom. I'll be working at Tim's Care Loan Service. That address on that is 219 State in Louisiana. And that's Lafayette, Louisiana.
Okay. What classes have you completed while you've been in prison?
I completed all my sex offense class, and I also have a class that's not showing anger management.
That's the only 2 classes you've taken in 20 years.
Yes, sir. Along with my substance abuse.
Okay. Only had 6 write-ups, which is good. Your last was in 9/14. Your static 99 is moderate, which is not good. Your medium custody. What do you think your actions, what kind of toll is that taking on your victims and their families and your family?
A big toll. A big toll. It hurts me. It hurts me to talk about it, but I have to talk about it because Ms. Mason did not deserve that. If I only listened to Ms. Mason when she used to tell me, do this, do that, if I only follow her guide, I would never be in here. My mother would, as the same as my mother, if I'd have listened to her, I wouldn't have been here. I'm deeply sorry. I wish I can turn back the hands of time. I cannot. I hope I can get peace and closure from both ends, mother, Ms. Mason, her family.
About Miss Phillips, you don't say much about Miss
But
Phillips.
my son, especially my son. Because I talk to him 2-3 times out the week. You know, like he said, Dad, because of you, because of your mistakes, you know, that's who I am today. And he's a good person, good man. He's my motivation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Freeman. Now we're going to hear from speakers we have here today. First, we'll hear from your mother, Ms. Patsy Alexander. Ms. Alexander, if you would please introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know. Ms. Alexander, can you hear me? I think you might be frozen. I'm not sure. Ms. Alexander, can you hear me? Ms. Alexander, can you hear us? Shake your head if you can. Is Mr. Cornell Phillips on? Mr. Phillips, Cornell Phillips? Is he with her as well? Patsy Alexander. Is Patsy Alexander?
Yes.
Ms. Alexander, if you would please introduce yourself, tell us what you'd like us to know about your son, Alexander. Cornell Alexander.
Okay. My name is Patsy Alexander. I'm Cornell Alexander's mother. First of all, I'm glad I'm on the Zoom with y'all. Cornell is my oldest son, and it would be a blessing that I could have him home again to be with the family. He was born in St. Martinville, Louisiana.
We all know all that already.
Martinville Senior High. Played football, had track. He was a B average in school. Oh Lord, I'm nervous, excuse me.
All right. Doing good.
Sir,
You're doing well. I know you're nervous. Just go ahead and tell us what you'd like us to know about him, what you'd want us to do today.
okay, I would like to have, to let y'all know that I would be pleased and throw myself at the mercy of the court in him, that he could be pardoned for his crime, and I would like to see him. And I'm sure that he's been rehabilitated since for the amount of years that he stayed there. And so he could be home with the family. And oh my God, just forgive me. And so that way we could, when he comes home, we could get him a driver's license. But first of all, register himself, do all the paperwork that he needs to have done. Get him a driver's license, find him a job, and he do have a place to stay, and then that's with me. Oh God, it's a lot of stuff that I would like to see. But most of all, I'm sure he learned from his mistake that he made.
Thank you, Ms. Alexander. We appreciate your comments. Is Mr. Cornell Phillips there with you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Mr. Phillips, is there anything you'd like to tell us about your dad?
Yeah. He been. It's been a long time, man. Been more like dang near half my life. He's been absent. I would appreciate it if I could even get that time back. I know some of the time is hard for me to even get back, but like I say, he got a lot to look forward to, man. I got a beautiful family. He had a granddaughter, grandson that come home for. Look forward to. Just to get that time back, even if he couldn't get it back with me, share some of those moments, even share with his grandkids, like he's been absent for like majority of my life, like I was saying. I would like to see him come home, do well. Like the amount of times he's been going, I speak with him. He's always in good spirits, saying he's going to be on the right path. I would like to see that for myself, and being the adult that I am, and having a background of counseling and all sorts. I would just like to see it, be a witness to it. I want him to do better. I believe he can do better, for the sake of his family to look forward to. And I'd appreciate it if y'all take that into consideration and just give him the another chance, just to have their life again, just not for only himself, but for the family.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Phillips. Appreciate your comments. Now we'll hear from Ms. Florence Mason. Ms. Mason.
Mason is.
Yes, my name is Florence Mason.
Ms. Mason, if you would please tell us what you'd like us to know.
Yes, I strongly believe he has no remorse. I said, because every day I live with the fact, those same words he kept telling me, if he can't have me, no one will. I have a scar. It's not my shoulder. It's above my right breast. My lungs was collapsing that day. He wasn't worried if he would leave my kids without a mother. I asked those same words in the court 19 years ago. Why did you do it? He said he had nothing to tell me at the time. He never called the ambulance. He left me bleeding. He called his mother after an hour passed. His mother came and seen him full of blood. Then she ran next door to Miss Carsley's house, which is now deceased. they called 911. Mr. Cantu and Hubert Augustine was the first on the scene. They rushed me to St. Martin first. They couldn't stabilize me, so then they rushed me to Lafayette General. After working on me for hours, for 2 days, I couldn't even wipe my own butt because my arm wasn't working. I went to therapy for 6 weeks. I thank God today that I could even use my right hand. You didn't once think if you will leave my 3 kids motherless. I would have never known that I have grandkids today that I'm there for. I feel he should do every bit of his sentence. Because I don't want no other woman to go through what I have gone through. I still have the fear of entering my home by myself sometimes because of Mr. Cornell Alexander. I had to spend money every month on a security system. When you enter your home, you just know the way you left it empty. You enter your home by yourself. Well, at least I thought I was by myself that day. I went to my stove and all I heard was a loud noise in my utility room. Till this day, that door has never been closed. I freak out if my son accidentally closes it. I was so comfortable in my house that I used to pick up my window on a sunny day. Till this day, these windows have never been up. I was so comfortable sleeping with my bedroom door open. Till this day, I have never done that.
Thank you, Ms. Mason. We appreciate your comments, ma'am. Mr. Alexander, is there anything you'd like to say before the panel votes?
Oh, yes, sir. And I'm completely and deeply sorry for the pain and hurt I caused you, Miss Mason, as well as your family.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Freeman?
Okay, Mr. Alexander, you committed 2 very, very serious crimes. You've only done 20 years out of the 50-year sentence. I don't think you were totally truthful to us today, and I vote to deny.
Mr. Freeman, Mr. Roche?
Mr. Alexander, good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Alexander, based upon a static 99, which is moderate, a static 99 is an instrument used to gauge whether a sex offender will reoffend, and you score in a moderate level, telling us that you have a moderate chance of reoffending. You have multiple convictions for sex offenses. The DA is strongly opposed. You have law enforcement opposition, and the victim is adamantly opposed. My vote is to deny your request.
Thank you, Mr. Roche. Mr. Alexander, you have 2 votes to deny your application today for parole. I concur with my colleagues. You've got some more work to do. Luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you.